Mid-Missourians react to the U.S. Supreme Court's rulings on same-sex marriage.
And bipartisan state lawmakers look into the Department of Revenue scandal that plagued the legislative session. KOMU 8 News First at 5 starts now.
Live from Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News First at 5.
Looking for solutions to the recent wave of crime in Columbia. Good evening, I'm Emily Hauger.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. Today, city leaders, including the mayor and the police chief, held an afternoon meeting to talk about plans to curb crime. Now, in less than just 2 weeks, officers have responded to 4 shootings and 3 robberies. The downtown shooting on the corner of 10th and Broadway left 3 people hurt Saturday, June 15th. No one was hurt in a shooting at Lakewood Apartments last Friday, but a 19-year-old man was shot in the leg at a house party on Bodie Drive Sunday, and a 25-year-old man was killed in a shooting in the parking lot of a laundromat on Conley Road Sunday night. The most recent robberies this morning happened on the south side of Columbia. The first robbery happened about 2:15 a.m. at the Phillips 66 on Nifong Boulevard near Providence Road. The second happened about 15 minutes later at the break time on Forum Boulevard near Stadium. We have team coverage of this afternoon's meeting, and we begin tonight with KOMU 8's Jen Lask. Jen?
I'm here at City Hall where the meeting was held earlier this afternoon, and during that meeting we learned new information about the recent investigations into the shootings. Now, not everyone was happy with the idea of a possible curfew for Columbia. Continuing our team coverage is KOMU 8's Chris Lilly.
Thanks, Jen. And although the police chief did we'll have more on this tonight at 6. Reporting live from Columbia, Chris Lilly, KOMU 8 News.
2 landmark rulings from the U.S. Supreme Court today. The High Court struck down part of the Defense of Marriage Act and also cleared the way for same-sex marriages to resume in California. The High Court invalidated the Defense of Marriage Act, or DOMA, which denies federal benefits to gay couples who are legally married in their states. In the second case, the court said it could not rule on a challenge to Proposition. California voters passed Proposition 8 in 2008, banning same-sex unions in the state. The Supreme Court said supporters lacked the legal standing to appeal a lower court's decision against it. There is plenty of talk from both sides of the issue today. KOMU 8's Nicole Krasavage is in studio with a local reaction.
Mid-Missourians had mixed reactions to today's Supreme Court rulings in favor of same-sex marriage. The Missouri Baptist Convention wrote to KOMU about its disappointment with the decisions. We posted on our Facebook page to ask you what you thought, and a lot of comments are coming in. Some residents wrote that we need to set religion aside and focus on respect for one another as humans. To join in on the conversation, visit our Facebook page or website, KOMU.com.
House committee members are meeting with representatives from the Missouri Department of Revenue at the state capitol today. Now, earlier in the legislative session, the DOR came under fire from representatives when it came to light that the department had changed procedures to obtain or renew a license. The department started scanning private documents into a database. KOMU 8's Christine Roto has been at the hearing all day and is there to tell us what happened. Christine?
Well, I'm here at the Capitol where the hearing wrapped up about 45 minutes ago. Now today, the state's licensing director, they will subpoena the people needed for tomorrow's hearing. Now, Stanley Cox said that these people are many are part of Nixon's administration. Reporting live from Jefferson City, Christine Roto, KOMU 8 News.
We received a tip earlier today regarding the death of an 8-month-old child yesterday in Holt Summit. This is what we know so far. The tip asked if there was any news about the infant supposedly strangled in Holt Summit. We called the Holt Summit police, and officers believe the infant died because of natural causes, and they see no signs of a struggle. The autopsy is underway, and updates will be released if any new information is found about the recent death.
More than a 10-hour filibuster in the Texas State House and an NFL player arrested. KOMU 8's Lauren Bale is in studio with the details.
Texas pro-choice advocates are celebrating a victory today following a late night at the state capitol. Democratic State Senator Wendy Davis attempted to filibuster by taking over the Texas State House floor starting yesterday morning and trying to last until midnight. That's when the legislature's term expired in order to block a vote on an abortion-related bill, which would ban abortions after 20 weeks. It would also require all procedures to be done at surgical centers. Texas Lieutenant Governor David Dewhurst reversed his initial ruling and announced the vote had failed to beat that midnight deadline, and so the bill did not pass. The Ohio man charged with holding 3 women captive for a decade was ordered to get a competency evaluation tomorrow. During a hearing today, a judge said Ariel Castro will be evaluated to determine if he is able to understand the charges against him. Also at today's hearing, a prosecutor said he's seeking additional charges against Castro. Castro has already been indicated on 329 charges, and he has pleaded not guilty. Former New England Patriots football player Aaron Hernandez has been charged with the murder of a semi-pro football player. Hernandez was handcuffed and escorted out of his North Attleboro home by police officers this morning. 27-year-old Odin Lloyd was found shot execution style about a half-mile from Hernandez's home. Following word of his arrest, the New England Patriots released Hernandez from the team. And that's your look around the nation.
In world news, Ecuador's foreign minister says it will take some time to decide whether to grant Edward Snowden political asylum. During a stop in Malaysia, Ricardo Patino said his country will make a, quote, sovereign decision. He continued to say Ecuador will consider offering him protection if he goes to the embassy. Snowden is accused of espionage after he leaked information about 2 top-secret U.S. surveillance programs. Police say an intelligence officer was seriously injured when a car bomb exploded in the Libyan city of Benghazi today. The victim was identified as a captain of Libya's General Intelligence Department and lost a leg in the attack. Benghazi was the cradle of the 2011 uprising against Muammar Gaddafi and is still a hotspot for violence. And it's happened again. Another cruise stuck at sea. A cruise ship carrying more than 2,200 people had to be towed into an Italian port yesterday after it lost power because of a fire. Pullmantur Cruises' Zenith ship was traveling between the Italian cities of Ravenna and Venice when the fire broke out in the engine room. The Italian Coast Guard and 4 tugboats responded and towed the cruise liner into a Venice port.
Well, it was sure hot and muggy in mid-Missouri today. Let's go right over to Rosie Newberry for your latest on the forecast.
Hot and muggy is absolutely correct, Emily. It actually was the hottest day we've seen here in mid-Missouri. We'll talk about what's happening in your immediate forecast and your next 8 days in total coming up after the break.
A new park opens to get Missourians active. We'll tell you about its added amenities.
A new product has been approved by the FDA, but it's not good for you. We'll tell you about the product in your Health segment.
Right now, you're taking a live look over Sedalia. This is KOMU 8 News, first at 5, coverage you can count on.